What's up? How y'all doing? The video gonna be about Scottie Pippen calling Michael Jordan selfish. My heart goes out to Scottie Pippen losing his son. Um, People know about the situation with his strange wife and his finances situations. There's been some things that's been out there, and he was one of the greatest players ever and one of the greatest defensive players as far as a small forward. He was something else. His size, his versatility, his talent. Um, what he said about Phil Jackson, I'm going to say this again. I'm not going to question another black person when it comes to what they say something about racism because let's be realistic. We are in America and, the experiences is real. And Phil then said some questionable things. And I still said if Scotty was coming from the Craig Hodges angle, he got a strong case. If Pip was coming from the Craig Hodges thing, definitely. We're not even going to talk about the LeBron James posse comment or the Allen Iverson, the wardrobe, the whole thing with them remarks. Now, what he said about the Kobe book, he said what we already knew. Kobe had to discipline himself, and obviously it was Shaq's team. And I said that was the problem with Kobe. He was known for being selfish, and he said and admitted so. So Phil didn't put out no grand revelation, And sometimes you got to tell it. So I didn't hold that against him. But the other things, they were suspect. Kukoc going in the game to take the big shot. They wanted to put an emphasis on Crow, a white guy coming from foreign white guy. Yeah, they wanted, but Kukoc wasn't going to be that dude. What was insulting is that Kukoc at one time was paid more than Pippen and Jordan. That was insulting, but that's another dynamic. But let me get to the Michael Jordan bit. Michael Jordan went to go play baseball because that was his father's dream. Michael Jordan had lost his father. His father was murdered. Michael Jordan it probably was drained after the first three-peat. I mean, he was dominant. There ain't no other way around it. And he needed Scotty to step up. He did call Scotty on the migraine against Detroit, and he held people accountable. And Michael Jordan, one thing about Michael Jordan, you may not like his sharp tongue, and you may think he's got the older brother complex of get off my lawn or what have you, but he don't sugarcoat what he think about you. He funny too, because he trolls you. And he's been known to throw shade, and he don't hold it back. And that's what I like about old school brothers. Music, sports, movies. Ain't no sugarcoating about where you are. Scottie Pippen, as a basketball player, will always be known as Michael Jordan's sidekick. Yeah, he was talented and versatile, and he did some things that Jordan didn't do, but he could not lead a team. He had his chance in Portland. I will let him slide with the Houston thing because Hakeem was older and Charles Barkley was past the pull date. They got there. They just didn't have enough against Utah, against Stockton and Malone and them. It just didn't have enough there. They did not have the horses to make it happen. But, what he's going on these tangents, you can't be no rewriting history. You're one of the greatest Chicago Bulls ever, but you ain't going to be no Michael Jeffrey Jordan. No matter how try as you might. You're a great defender. And you helped on them 6 rings. And you were a big contributor. But we saw how the story ended up in other places. It was not memorable. You had your chance against the Lakers. 15-point blown lead. Back when Shaq, nothing could get in Shaq's way. You had Phil on the ropes. Kobe was coming up on the ropes. A 67-win Laker team. And he did not seal the deal. So, all this talk about, Michael Jordan be selfish, he had an attitude. But he dominated. He made life easier for you. He made life easier for you. Because he was that dude. And you learn from him. You might resent the way people treat you out in these streets with it. And I do respect you. I respect Scottie Pippen. Because I think he has some profound things to say. But I can't clap for him calling Michael Jordan selfish and acting like he was the equivalent or something. Let's stop getting it twisted. I don't like it when people try to revise history when dominant players dominated. And I hold people to task on it. It's just like I do not let Kobe Bryant stands come at me and put Kobe up there when Shaq was running the league, because he was not as good as Shaquille O'Neal. And I do not like. I want people to keep it 100. I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but if someone is dominant and they're running things, you can't sit up there and say, "Oh well, so and so was just as great as so." No, they weren't. They were great, but when someone is dominant, they're imposing their will. Michael Jordan imposed his will. Scotty was there for the ride, and he was a big time important contributor, just like Dennis Rodman. But they know that Jordan was the straw, the glass, and the ice. So hearing Scotty calling Jordan selfish and all this revisionist history, because the Last Dance was one-sided, but what did you expect? Michael Jordan was not only the face of the NBA, he was one of the greatest players ever, and he was an impactful player. And he came and played at a high level. And I'm not going to see people up here try to diminish what the eyes saw. I wasn't even the biggest Michael Jordan fan, but let me be real with you. That cat was bad. And he had that attitude and that ego. Scotty did not have it. Scotty was very good. Great. Hall of Famer. But he wasn't Michael Jordan. And yeah, Jordan was selfish. And yeah, Jordan did what he did. That's how they won. And Scotty rewarded. He didn't say nothing about it 25 years ago. I'm not going to say that I can understand reasons why he may say stuff about Phil, because it is a white world and the NBA is ran by white folk. And I ain't going to argue that. But talking about Michael Jordan, you tripping. Anyway, give me your thoughts and takes about Scottie Pippen calling Michael Jordan selfish. Please hit the like, subscribe, or welcome thoughts and comments, and I do respond. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another, and I don't want to hear nobody doing no revisionist history, because the eyes saw the facts. I'm out.